Hey up! I'm just out in Buxton today. It is super misty out on these fields. I'm just going to do a spot foraging, see what we can find today. Look at this. One single little hogweed seed. I just found a plant with a few more seeds on it. These are really delicious baked into cookies, and I use them for my jams as well. I made a really delicious plum and hogweed jam in the summer. They've got a lovely spiced kind of citrusy flavour. Soon the leaf shoots will start to emerge, and these are a super tasty wild edible that's kind of a bit like asparagus. And then later on in the spring we've got these flower buds that emerge in like a papery parcel, and these are quite similar to a broccoli. The flowers can be used to garnish salads, or you can even pick the flower heads whole and tempura them in a batter. As a member of the umbellifer family, you do need to take some caution when you're picking hogweed, but I'll do a more detailed identification next month when the fleshy parts of the plant come into season. Though pretty aggressive and even invasive in some places, common gorse is an awesome sight for foragers because it flowers pretty much all year round. The flowers have got a really delicate coconut type scent that gets stronger in the summer months. They can be steeped into milk and used for ice cream, or you can even make a really nice gorse syrup out of them and use that for cocktails. What a beautifully rampant patch of yellow Archangel. This is a member of the mint family, despite how much it looks like the common stinging nettle. It's got a square stem, just like most other members of the mint family, and these minty looking serrated leaves as well. But what's special about the yellow Archangel is it sometimes has these beautiful silvery, purpley, pinky kind of mottled markings on the top of the leaf. And there are a couple of varieties of Archangel. This one, it was probably a garden escapee a long time ago, but you can often find it in many fields, hedgerows and forests these days. But yeah, it's a beautiful plant that's edible from the leaves, the flowers, the shoots, the roots. It's an entirely edible plant, and it's really medicinal as well, and it can be used in much the same way as your other dead nettles, so like your red dead nettle and your white dead nettle, and even much the same way as your common stinging nettles, to be honest, as well. It makes a really beautiful aromatic tea when the leaves and flowers are crushed and dried, and much like most other greens, it can be used for soups and stocks and salads and things like that as well. But it's a lovely little plant to be finding at the minute. It will start to come into flower around March, April, May time, and continue through until late spring. The tops of the leaves have got a gorgeous kind of mottled silver, pink and burgundy kind of colouring. The true yellow Archangels have just got dark green leaves. But yeah, this is a beautiful variety that's just as medicinal. These creepy looking things are called candle snuff fungus, and whilst they're too tough and woody to eat, they have got great medicinal properties. They're antiviral, and in a study I read, they showed to exhibit pretty significant antimicrobial activities against both bacterial and fungal pathogens, and they've also been shown to reduce tumours as well. I just found a very common little rock or wall plant, and you can often find this in most kind of damp spots as well. This is herb Robert, or Robert's geranium, and it's a species of cranesbill, and it's entirely edible, and it's often used as kind of like an aromatic tea. I think that the leaves smell pretty gross, to be honest. They've got quite a strong pungent flavour, but yeah, some people do use these for teas. I use this as an insect repellent because, like I say, it does smell quite strong, so you can rub this just straight onto your skin and use it as kind of an insect repellent. Medicinally, it's been used in the past to treat nosebleeds and been used as an antiseptic as well. It's a cool little herb that you can find just in the rocks. It's got beautiful little purpley pink flowers when spring comes around. It just brightens up these little wall crevices. Really nice. It's another name is Stinking Bob, I think, or Stinking Robin, something like that. Look at this beautiful moss. Just looks like little tiny Christmas trees. Moss like this is absolutely awesome for drying out and using as tinder. Just found a delicious little wild leaf down here. This is common sorrel. These leaves have got a really delicious kind of zesty, citrusy flavour that kind of tastes a little bit like lemon. It goes really nice with fish, salads, chicken, things like that. You can find this pretty much anywhere, hence the name common sorrel, and at this time of year you're pretty safe with any toxic lookalikes. The young leaves of lords and ladies can look similar, as they both exhibit these kind of tails or lobes, but lords and ladies' lobes are rounded, whereas the sorrel lobes are pointed like this. I'm knackered from this hill. A little bit more to go. This tree has got velvet shanks growing up this side and oyster mushrooms growing up this side. So if you watched my January foraging video, you would have already heard me speaking a little bit about velvet shanks, and as I said, the velvet shanks are a really great mushroom for foragers because you can find them all throughout winter and sometimes even as late as March in some areas. These are one of the few mushrooms that you can eat raw, and you actually might have already eaten them if you've ever tried inoculum mushrooms from the supermarket. They are genetically the same mushroom, they're just a cultivated version, and they grow in different kind of conditions, so that's why they look so vastly different to these velvet shanks. And then you've got some jelly ear mushrooms here, and then velvet shanks over there. Again, if you saw my last foraging video, then I've already spoken a little bit about jelly ear, but to give you a bit of a backstory on the name, the Latin name of Auricularia auricula judae, forgive my pronunciation, it's probably not correct, but that just translates to the ear of Judas, and that's because Judas was said to have hung himself on an elder tree, which is where jelly ears almost exclusively seem to grow. But because the common name was Judas ear or Jew's ear, these mushrooms were seen as evil and actually even used in Nazi propaganda. So today we call these by the name of wood ear or jelly ear. Just found some edible Scarlet Elf Cups, or they might be ruby elf cups, it's quite hard to tell unless you put them under a microscope. But these little things are edible. Oh, look at that massive worm.
Where?
Hello.
Oh yeah. No,
I know. Yeah, these little things are edible, and you can use them to make your dishes look quite fancy.
That's been there some time now.
These eject their spores from inside, so sometimes when they're ready to spore you can blow inside and see all of the spores come out, and it's quite pretty.
That's it.
Yeah. Nice. Oh yeah. What about your friends want some? Don't be greedy.